What's up, everybody? Super Fan here from Mustang Weekly Update number 25 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, if you follow me on Twitter, then you'll know that I got my first door ding, which is kind of annoying. And yeah, I don't understand why people do that. I don't know if it's just I mean, there's honest mistakes sometimes, or with kids or something, or accidents. But, I just don't understand why, people don't have any regard for other people's property. But I won't rant about it. It just irks me. And it's kind of, I mean, it's a small one. It didn't leave any paint damage. It's just a little ding that I'll probably be able to pull out in one way or another fairly easily. And that's why in this picture you can barely even, see it there. But it's there, and right on the one body line, too. So it kind of stands out to me. So yeah, just the realities of daily driving a car. So I knew it was going to happen sooner or later, and so got first battle scar here on the Mustang, unfortunately. But not bad, considering the car already has over 13,000 miles now, and it's running well. And speaking of running well, the other thing that I'll mention is this car, I don't know what's going on, but it's getting better and better with the gas mileage. I don't understand, if I hit some golden jackpot of really good gasoline, or if it's I feel like I'm driving the same, so I don't understand why my gas mileage is rapidly improving. But I've only burned through almost half a tank in this current tank of gas, and I'm at 28.4 miles per gallon for my average. And this is mostly mixed driving. There's no long highway stints. It's 5 minutes on the highway, 5 minutes off. It's just it's all kinds of stuff. And I'm getting over 28 miles per gallon, which is better than the BRZ ever got in mixed driving, by the way. That car, at best, would do 26 or 27, and you have a whole extra 100 horsepower in this car. So, and this is a heavier car as well. So this is a really impressive motor. I know people like knocking on these EcoBoosts. Of course, there's still the diehard V8 lovers. I still would prefer to have a V8 if I just could burn money away and didn't care. But for the thrifty person that still wants to, have a reasonably economical car, this is just I never even expected to get 28 miles per gallon in daily driving in this car. So it's really, really impressive. And I've really been loving this car. I think I'm going to do a separate video at some point here in the next couple of weeks listing all of the reasons why I love this car so much. But aside from the sound, everything in this car is a 10 out of 10 to me. It really is. I love it. I mean, there's a few things as far as body roll that I could tweak slightly. It's not bad from the factory, but just putting better tires on it with a lower profile would help, and maybe some sway bars, things like that, just for some of the tightest of corners and harshest of handling situations that I sometimes put the car through. But for most of my driving, 95% of the time, I'm 100% happy with it. Power is so good. Everything is just so good in this car. They did such a good job. The only other thing I can mention just started happening today is there's another little rattle only when the car is cold. Once the car gets warmed up and moving around a little bit, it's fine. But right at the base of the A-pillar here on the driver's side, there's a rattle that is a little bit annoying. After about 10 or 15 minutes, it does go away though. So I'm just real curious to see how this interior holds up over time, because Ford has made huge leaps in their quality recently. The past 5 or 10 years have been, huge leaps and bounds as far as improvement on these cars. But I'm still slightly worried about Ford build quality, because you get so much car for so little money in this car that I'm worried that there's stuff that's going to not age well or something over time. So it'll be interesting to see here over the next, months and years how this interior holds up. But it's still holding up very well otherwise, and I really like it. So anyway, I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news. The first thing is some rumors about the new Mazdaspeed3 and when it will be debuting. So it should be coming very soon, and what the rumors here are saying is that it'll debut in a very close to production concept form at the Frankfurt Motor Show here in the early fall, and then we'll probably see a production version at the Los Angeles Motor Show here at the end of the year. Which all makes sense, and they're saying it's going to have a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's going to do 295 horsepower. That's just the rumor, but that's what they're saying it's going to have. No word yet about whether or not it's going to be all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. fingers crossed for all-wheel drive. It'd be awesome to see this thing even have more horsepower and compete with the Focus RS. But this will probably be priced closer to the Focus ST, and therefore it'll be very, very competitive with that much horsepower. So very exciting to hear that. In some other exciting news, this is again just a rumor, but this is pretty credible rumors, and that is that Jaguar is working on a 600 horsepower F-Type SVR version, and so they're saying it's going to have a lot of the same bits that we saw in the Project 7. We don't know anything except it's going to probably have 600 horsepower or more. Any more information is all up to guessing as far as whether it's automatic, manual, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, coupe, convertible. We don't know yet, but that is going to be amazing. So very exciting to hear that, and can't wait to hear more. And another very sweet rumor we've been hearing is about Bugatti. You know, they're working on the new Chiron, which is the Veyron successor, and here's just some targets that are reported for the Chiron. It's going to have, or Chiron, I might be mispronouncing it, I don't know. But anyway, it's going to have a 2-second 0 to 62 mile per hour time. So 0 to 60 in 2 seconds is their goal. And with how much they blew our mind 10 years ago with the original Veyron, that wouldn't surprise me, although that is just insane to think about. They're also shooting for 14 miles per gallon, but who even cares? Because this thing is going to be probably well over 1,500 horsepower. Although some people have said 1,400 horsepower, but to do a 2-second 0 to 60 run, that's just going to be amazing. Yes, Bugatti, again, blowing everyone's minds and making cars that are 10 years faster than everything else. I mean, all the other supercars are just now getting close to 3 seconds or just barely under for the highest of performing cars. So to do it in 2, I mean, they just owned the game again. So very exciting to hear that. Hopefully it turns out to actually happen. Another exciting little thing is the 2016 Fiat 124 Spider is going to debut at some point this year. We're not sure exactly when, although the rumors are also the Frankfurt Motor Show. And then again, it could also appear at the LA Auto Show later. And so that's what we're hearing so far. Again, this is the car that's based on the Miata. It was originally going to be the Alfa Romeo Spider, but because it's not being built in Italy, Alfa Romeo didn't want it, and so Fiat said they'll take it instead. It will be built in Japan, but it'll have the Italian flair of the beautiful Italian styling they're planning for it, for the interior and exterior. Mechanicals, it's sounding like it'll actually have a different engine than the Miata as well, so it'll be quite a bit different. This isn't going to be a BRZ FRS type of arrangement. It might have its own engine. We're thinking it'll have the Fiat 500 Abarth engine, which would make it sound much better than the Miata's engine, I'm sure. And that Abarth motor just sounds so good. So putting that in a drop-top, beautiful little roadster, that would be an awesome car. So very exciting to see that. Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll know what it looks like. Another bit of news here is the 2016 Cadillac CTSV has officially been priced. And orders have opened up yesterday, I believe, so you can place an order now for one if you'd like. The price is starting at $83,995, so 84 grand for the CTSV, which is high, of course, and there's going to be some people who are going to be shocked by that. But again, 640 horsepower, over 200 mile per hour top speed, and I mean, this is going to be a serious performer. It's still way cheaper than all the Germans that have, you know, similar performance. So still a bargain. I mean, the only other thing that can really beat it as far as horsepower goes is the Charger Hellcat. But aside from that, and I mean, this will probably handle much better than the Hellcat as well. So you get that handling for the extra few bucks as well. But very awesome to see that. I'm sure that's going to be worth every penny. Another thing is Ford announced that the Shelby GT350, it's going to be primarily a 2016 model year, but they're going to do a limited run of 137 units for the 2015 model year. I guess that's as quick as they can get them out. It's going to commemorate the 50th anniversary, of course, of the Shelbys as well, and which debuted in 1965. And but obviously it's going to be the same as the 2016 model for the most part, just very extremely limited availability for those. But like I said, there'll be plenty to go around in 2016, so it's not like these are the only ones we'll ever see. Also, you know how all these car companies have been doing these Vision Gran Turismo concepts that are just CGI'd cars that look cool, and of course we'll never see any of them in the flesh, or they'll never make it to production? Well, Infiniti actually went and built one. Their Vision Gran Turismo concept, they made a real-life metal version of this thing, and looks amazing in the flesh. And of course they're still not going to build it. It probably doesn't even drive, I don't know, but very cool to see they actually built one. That couldn't have been cheap, and there's really no reason to, but I'm glad they did. Some more Jaguar news. Jaguar has announced their details for the XE, which is a 3 Series fighter they're bringing here to North America. And this car is crucial for Jaguar. They said that if this car doesn't do well, Jaguar itself could be on the ragged edge as far as being profitable as a company, and that's scary to hear considering all the wonderful products that Jaguar puts out, F-Type for the most part. But so anyway, there's going to be starting off with 2 ranges here for the US initially, and the first one is going to be dubbed the XE 35T, which is going to have, even though it's called 35T, it's going to have a 3-liter supercharged V6 engine. It's the same one out of the base F-Type, 340 horsepower, but it's still really quick. That car alone, even though that's, one of the lower versions, it still does 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, which means it'll outrun my Mustang. For a little 3 Series fighter, that's pretty awesome. And so that's exciting to hear. It's going to have 155 mile per hour top speed. They're also, one of the first engines they're bringing is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder that does 180 horsepower and 318 pounds-feet of torque because it's a diesel, which is very awesome to hear. And it's not quite as fast, 7.4 seconds 0 to 60, but it's going to have, I'm sure, some amazing fuel economy numbers. So that's very cool. And that's not even including the XES, which we'll be getting later on, which isn't available just yet, but that one will be available later on in the year. And these will all be coming, by the way, spring 2016, so you still have a year to wait for these. But whenever the XES does arrive, that's going to have the 380 horsepower V6 engine out of the F-Type V6S, and so it's going to sound amazing and should be pretty awesome. But even that standard 340 horsepower supercharged V6 is going to be a really sweet engine and should be a very, very fun car. So exciting to hear that. I just can't wait for them to get here. It's like a whole another year. It's going to be a long wait. Other Jaguar news, the FPace SUV that they're developing was spied out on the inside and on the outside. Still very camouflaged up, so you can't make out much from the outside, except it probably will look very similar to the concept that we saw, just a little bit toned down. Still looks like it's going to be very bold and amazing looking, though. Inside, we see a manual transmission, which might just be a European-only option, but that'd be very cool if they brought a manual to the States as well. And same basic interior you've seen on the XE, on the new XE and the XF, and it's a very nice, clean design, and they said that the profile of the SUV is very low still in the way that the seating position is and things. So it should, I think they're going for trying to make this feel like a car, even though it is an SUV. Also, the new BMW 5 Series was spied hitting the Nürburgring, doing some testing. Still very camouflaged up, so kind of hard to see what it's going to look like really, except it will be a little bit longer, of course. They always get bigger every single year. So, it looks good, though, from what we can see. And the interesting thing is this is going to have a lot of high-tech stuff in it. They're even going to be doing possibly a small engine, even as small as a 3-cylinder engine. There's going to be a 4-cylinder turbo as well with electric assist and things like that. So all kinds of interesting stuff going on with this. And they said that, the 3-cylinder would be a turbo diesel, so it would still have a good amount of torque. But of course, they're saying that they're going to do, probably 600 horsepower or more for the M5 whenever that comes. But the cool thing is all the high-tech features. And so some of the things that they said this car is going to have, they said it'll be able to overtake cars on its own, and it'll signal beforehand and everything for you. So pretty intelligent autonomous driving there on the highway. In addition to that, it'll park itself. It will also have an inductive charging thing through a floor-mounted plate, so that you can wirelessly charge your phones and all kind of stuff. The iDrive layout is finally going to have a touchscreen, so welcome to what everyone else has been doing for 10 years, BMW. It's good to see that the Germans are finally kind of slowly ditching their crazy controllers that are counterintuitive and just going with a touchscreen like Lexus and a lot of the other smart manufacturers have been doing for many, many years now. And so I think touchscreen is definitely the way to go. And so that's good to see that they're finally seeing the light there. And so yeah, there's all kinds of other things I'm sure this car will have, but that's all we know for now. But very exciting to see that. Also, the Audi S Q7 was spied for the first time, the faster version of the Q7. That, of course, the Q7 got a huge weight loss for this new model here, and so this S Q7 should be quite the performer. We don't have any official details as far as what's going to be powering it. Maybe the RS7 motor would be in here or something. I'm not sure, but exciting to see that, and can't wait to hear more. Also, you know, everyone's doing these crossovers, and with Bentley and all of them kind of doing luxury crossovers, Maybach is considering doing a crossover as well. It'd be based, of course, on the Mercedes GLS or something like that. Of course, it's just going to be a more luxurious version, since Maybach is now just like a trim model instead of being a standalone brand, and so that's no surprise there. I figure they'd do it eventually. Very cool to see that, and hopefully we'll see more soon. And one of the last things here, speaking of other high-end luxury stuff, Rolls-Royce has made a new Phantom Limelight, is what they're calling it, which, for those crazy people that thought that the backseat of a Rolls-Royce Phantom wasn't luxurious enough, this one now has even nicer rear seats that recline, have footrests that emerge out of the floor. It has pockets in the doors for your high-end watches and perfumes and all kinds of jewelry and things like that. So basically, you could live out of this car if you wanted to. And of course, it has all the other normal decadent Rolls-Royce features, and I think they said they're only going to be doing a very small amount of them, 25 to be exact, but I'm sure they'll sell all 25, no problem whatsoever there. And the last thing is Apple has filed a patent for a humanized navigation system that's very interesting in the way that it's going to be less like a robot and more like a passenger in the passenger seat giving you directions. And so it'll kind of give you context and say, instead of in 500 feet your destination is on the right, it would say something like, your destination is after the gas station, it's the large house with the brick siding or something like that, and it would do things like that and give you more detail and give you, you know, things like saying which lane to be in because you have to prepare to do something soon and things like that. Very exciting. That sounds like the future of technology as far as navigation is concerned to me, and Apple, of course, being on the forefront like they usually are, I'm sure that's going to be very exciting whenever it comes out and be very helpful. So yeah, that's it for all the news this week, guys. So I'll send it back to me in the car. Alright, so there's lots of traffic today, but we'll try our best here at doing a nice little acceleration to end the video like I always do, and the roads just got wet, so wheel spin, lots of wheel spin this time. Oh, it always keeps it fun. So glad to have the rear wheel drive. It's very, very nice. Always adds more fun. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care.